introduction. Then we're going to talk about what retargeting is, a little bit about remarketing versus retargeting, show you what's been going on with retargeting in Australia in particular with businesses and how many businesses are using it, what kind of results they're getting, and a little bit about why retargeting is now considered essential in marketing. And what we'll then do is we'll talk about Facebook custom audiences and how they relate, because they are a major part of it. And then we've got some case studies where we're going to go through some of the businesses that are part of the Victorian Business Group, and we'll show you some actual examples of how a real-life business could use retargeting and make more sales, increase their profits, and get some really good results. And after that, we'll show you actually just how you set it up, and we'll again use the live Facebook site to show you how to do that. And then at the end, I'll take as many questions as you guys want to throw at me. If you have got questions, feel free to type them into the question box, but we won't answer them until the end. So if you think of something, feel free to drop it in there, and then when we get to the end, we'll come back and we'll go through those questions and answer all of them. I know what it's like. Sometimes you have a question, and then if you don't put it in until the end, you forget what it actually is. And so feel free to drop it in, but yeah, we will go through at the end, and we'll go through as many questions as you want. Now, the other thing is, and it says it here in the presentation halfway through, is some of this might seem a little bit, it might be a little bit confusing at first, but just hang in there, stick with it, and what you'll find is that it will crystallise at a point. You'll really start to understand it, because it's not a really basic thing to understand. It is a little bit tricky at first, and a lot of people, even people that are in the business of Facebook marketing, don't really understand how it works. So if you are a little bit confused, just hang in there, and then a point, I assure you'll go, okay, got it. It'll become crystal clear. So, okay, I think we've got everybody that is going to be on is here now. So what we'll do is we can start the presentation, and just to let everybody know, there will be a recording available of the webinar. So there will be a recording, and I've also got something to give you for free, which I'll show you at the end as well. As a bit of a thank you, just for saying thanks for coming along and taking an hour out of your night and spending it with us and learning something new that could really help your business. So kick it off just to give you a really quick idea of my background. My background was in corporate sales and marketing for a long period of time, working for large telecommunication companies, and at a point I got sick of that and decided to get out of that. And in 2002, I started a business, Aboriginal art gallery with my mum actually, and it was a good time to get into the market. It was going really well at that time, and over the next 5 or 6 years, we actually built that into one of the largest Aboriginal art galleries in the world. And the part that I did, or the main part that I did, was all the online stuff. So it gave me a really good basis in online marketing. And in 2010, I was actually looking at Facebook apps and Facebook and different social media things for the Aboriginal art gallery, when I noticed that there was a gap in the market, and I wanted to diversify anyway, and so I got involved in doing social media. And at the beginning, I was really doing everything from Twitter to YouTube, Facebook, whatever else was out there, and it was really jack of all trades, master of none. So I cut that right back to where I now just specialise in Facebook marketing, and I'm working with businesses and companies right around the world, and helping them use Facebook more effectively to market their products and to build their business. And because it's a very powerful platform, but it's a very misunderstood platform as well. So it's challenging at the same time, but it's really rewarding, because we can help a lot of businesses. And once they understand how it works, they're blown away with the results that that they can get. So what is retargeting? Okay, well this little diagram here is going to give you an idea of it at its absolute basic level. And basically what retargeting is if there's an internet user, they go to a website, and on that website is a little bit of code that attaches to their browser that enables them to be identified and tracked as far as that computer. So they go to a website, they leave that website, and at some time in the future after that, they go to Facebook, and then when they're on Facebook, they see an ad that's related to that that particular website, and then they might click it and they go back to that website. So it's basically, you probably all experienced it, whereby you've been on a website and then you've seen an ad on Facebook about that particular company, and if you're wondering how did they, was it luck? It wasn't luck that you saw that. It was absolutely deliberate. And so that really is what retargeting, or Facebook retargeting, is in its most basic form. So it drives previous website visitors back to your site through targeted Facebook ads. And the reason why it works so well is because people have already got a familiarity with you and your business, and they're interested in some way in that they have visited your website. Now, there is an enormous amount more to what retargeting is than that, but that is retargeting at its basic level. Now, one of the questions a lot of people ask is, what about remarketing? Can you guys see that screen okay?
Hi mate, I don't know about others, but at my end I've just got the...
A lot of people ask the question about retargeting versus remarketing. They're exactly the same thing. Google used the term remarketing more than often, and Facebook uses the term retargeting. It's exactly the same thing. The only difference is when you do it with Google, is that your ads are seen on Google, and your ads are also seen on their partner websites. So they might be seen, anywhere all over the internet. But remarketing, retargeting, it's exactly the same thing. It's just using a different platform to do that. So here's just some interesting information about retargeting and what kind of results it brings. And I've circled some interesting facts here, and that is 93% of, and this is in Australia, 93% of Australian marketers report that retargeting performs equal to or better than display advertising, search, email, and that's a very high number. 74% of marketers have found that it increases their online conversions, and 55% have found that it increases their mobile conversions. And it's interesting to note 53% of marketers are also retargeting on mobile devices now. So it's happening in a big way. Whilst a lot of small businesses aren't doing it, it certainly is. It's starting to pick up and become a lot more, a lot bigger. If you look down here in this box here, it talks about why people are using it, and it's interesting to notice that most businesses are using it for brand awareness, followed by driving sales and also customer retention and so forth. So it's happening in a big way right now, but it's only going to get bigger in the future. Now the interesting thing here is where we've got the box in the red. The way it affects the overall marketing mix, 76% reported that it increases their search, 70% with their email campaigns, and 55% with display. And really that's just because there is a situation where people find that if you're getting more and more people back to your website, it's going to help in your overall marketing efforts and so forth. Now on this slide here, it goes a little bit further than the other one, and it talks about what else what other marketing objectives retargeting is fulfilling. And you'll see here 52% of people find that it improves their social engagement, lead generation, upsells, community building, lead nurturing, and then 30% of people not using retargeting at all. So that gives you a bit of an idea, a little bit of an idea. Sorry, I didn't want you to see that next screen because I want to ask you a question in a minute. Gives you a bit of an idea of what kind of marketing objectives it is fulfilling at the moment. What I wanted to do was I wanted to do a quick poll and just find out how many of you guys have actually got Facebook pages at the moment. If you could just put in whether yes or no, whether you've got a Facebook page, and then we'll just give you a few seconds, to do that. Okay, great. Everybody, nobody's answered. What's that? That's excellent. Okay, so there's a couple that don't have a page. That's cool. That's not a problem. Okay. 97% have got a Facebook page. Excellent. Okay, so the other, okay, we'll close that. Great, thanks guys, that's great. The other thing I wanted to ask, and if you just can put it in the chat box, is what percentage, have a guess, I want you to have a guess, what percentage of people do you think that go to your shopping cart, so they've seen a product, they want to buy it, and they go through to the shopping cart and they go, to put all their details and pay with their credit card. What percentage of people do you think don't end up going through that process and completing the sale? So if you just drop it in the chat box, and we'll just wait for that to come through. Okay, just 1 second, guys. Awesome. Yeah, some good answers. There's some good answers here. There's some people that really, really right on the money. Yeah, very high, guessing 80%, 80%, 80%, maybe 25%, 50%, pretty high after seeing freight added. Or yeah, that's definitely one, Michael. You're dead right. After I think that's where a lot of people do drop off. People 50, 30, 30, 20, 80, 20, 70, 68, 50. Okay, someone asked if I could quote the source of the research and findings here. Most of this has come from AdRoll, so adroll.com. Okay. All right, so a lot of, whoever said 80%, you're not far off of it. It's very close to that. It's actually 72% of online shoppers are likely to abandon their shopping carts prior to making a purchase. The interesting thing is, without retargeting, only 8% of those return to complete their transactions. With retargeting, 26% do. And the other thing is, website visitors who are retargeted with display ads, 70% more likely to convert on your website. So it gives you an idea of just how incredibly powerful it can be. Okay, so why is retargeting now considered a critical element of marketing? This guy here is a guy called Ryan Dice, who's probably one of the best digital marketers on the planet. And this was his quote, this bottom one here: soon all display advertising will be retargeted advertising, and the pixel will become even more valuable than the click itself. As larger advertisers continue to buy up ad inventory, those that fail to pixel their site visitors won't be able to afford to advertise. I mean, this is a major thing for him to come out and say, and it means that it's really the whole focus of these online marketers, digital marketing is based around this retargeting, which was one of the reasons I wanted to put this together, was so that we could go through that, because it's going to be
an incredibly important thing in the very near future, or it is right now. So one of the questions a lot of people ask is, what are the main things that make it so important? And this one here is the absolute most important thing. 98% of people don't buy on their first website visit. Only 2 in 100 people that visit your website will buy anything. And I've tested this with products that are absolutely hot, that the market is completely into a product, and it's never more than 2 or 3, at the best 4. And if you're like me, you're probably very confused as to why that happens. And I just want to get those 98 people and go, why? You've clicked through on an ad. Why? That you're obviously interested in. Why haven't you bought? And there's lots and lots of reasons why. But and they're actually endless. But some of them, it can be as simple as the phone rang, or mum called them for dinner. They didn't have their credit card details with them. They didn't know where to click. The timing, they went there, they had a look, they're interested, but the timing isn't right. Or their computer crashed. I mean, that's happened to me in the middle of trying to order something. So there's a lot of different reasons why people might go and visit your website and actually even look at buying a product and then not go through with it. And 3 of the main roadblocks to website sales is, number 1, the internet is very noisy. People are seeing so much content on a daily basis now, and you're competing against numerous content providers who will fight you hard to get their attention. And because the internet is so noisy, people are easily distracted, and they simply forget. They forget your product name, they forget your website URL, they forget why they went to your site, how they got there, or even why they went there at all. Now, I'll just give you a really quick example of how noisy the internet can be. Last year, I was surfing online, and I came across this product, and it was like $100, which was a fair bit for what it was. It was a digital product, and I looked at it and I loved it, and I bought it straight away. And I'm careful with my money, so I don't, so it was $100 purchase. Anyway, downloaded the information and got a username and password to go and log in to the membership site. And when I clicked the link and went there, it was pre-populated in the username and password. It already had some details in there, my details, and I couldn't work out what was going on. And it took me about 15 minutes to work it out. And then what I'd actually discovered was the reason it was there was because I had actually already bought it before. And about 5 weeks earlier, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had bought this same product, and then a month later had no memory whatsoever of buying it, saw it again, and didn't remember, and bought it again. And so I had to email the company, and it was really embarrassing, and say, could I please have my money back? There's nothing wrong with your product. Your product's great, but I bought it twice. And it was simply a matter of, I must have bought it. It was late at night. I was gonna do something with it the next day, but something got in the way, and I just forgot about it, and it sat on my computer, and basically I just totally forgot about it, and then went and bought it again. I mean, so that's the kind of, that's an extreme example, but that's the kind of thing that you can find. Lindsay, have you got anything you want to add on that?
Not at this stage, mate. No, I apologise. You pretty much summed it up perfectly there. Actually, it's as you said. Look, it's a huge place. And you've really got to struggle to find a unique selling point in order to actually be seen.
Yeah, no doubt. And so the internet being noisy is certainly one of the major roadblocks. The other one is this one, trust. People won't buy from you if they don't trust you, and there's a lot of people still think a lot of stuff online is a scam. Last year I was selling some apparel wear, and we had a few orders go missing, and we thought that they were delivered, and then people basically contacted us, and then we contacted them straight back and organised for the product to be replaced. And a lot of people were really surprised, and they said straight out, "Oh, we just assumed that you're a scam, and we'd lost our money and didn't expect to hear back." And so that's the mentality a lot of people have online, and a lot of people aren't aware of how safe it is to use credit cards from the point of view that you're protected. Your bank protects you as a consumer. As a merchant, you're not so protected as a lot of you would probably know, and in that they'll claw back if you send out if someone uses a stolen credit card or something like that. As a merchant, you'll lose, but as a consumer, you're safe as houses. If someone buys $5,000 worth of stuff, you let the bank know and they'll fix it up. And so people don't realise this, so they're very, very wary, and they just, I guess there is a lot of shady stuff going on online, and a lot of people have had bad experiences to make them feel this way. So more important than nearly anything is people have got to trust you, and the more times that they see you, the more times they see your ads, the more times they see your website, the more times they see your company name, the more they will begin to trust you. Even if they haven't dealt with you directly, it's just the familiarity of your company name will eventually lead to some automatic trust. The other reason it's hard to get people to buy straight away on a website is a lot of people will do a product or a price comparison these days. They want to check out your product versus a comparable product or the exact same product if they want to do a price comparison. Now, the interesting thing with this is once they've done their due diligence, they're far more likely to buy. And so staying top of mind, being in front of them, is critical, because even if you have the best deal, there's a chance, as long as they've seen a comparable deal, if they've seen a comparable deal today and they haven't seen, and yours was slightly cheaper 3 weeks ago, they're going to go with the one they saw today. So if you can put yourself in front of them, then it's going to increase your sales dramatically just from that point of view.